Bro, what the fuck? Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah, hey, I just wanna touch the top. Baby said that she in love and she don't love a lie. Been chillin' with all the birds, I've been above the slide. Shawty said that things change, well it does a lot. Hey, watching out the payment, man, the suds is high. Yeah, lost inside the heart, but it's emerging right. I've been out the way and I'm good. I can find my home. Everything I said it was is not. Yeah, Jamaica, how you layin'? Yeah, you ain't say none, what you saying, baby? I lost you, but who's paying? Don't know why you hit my phone, why you playing? Yeah, I can't handle love without the trusting, yeah. I can see the top, I wanna touch it, yeah. We been getting money, no discussion. Now I don't let the top of shorty always get the fussing, yeah. Hey, I like to cruise on it. Say she like the way I sound and how I groove on her. I been steady dodging bullets, how I move on her. But he talking out his neck and not a crew on her, yeah. And I'm sliding, shawty like the vibe, don't want the ride to end, yeah. To the nice end, yeah. To the nice end, I can always keep the cool, I'm never fighting. Man, I love was all the cake without the icing. Now I found new love, different pricing, and it won't cost my soul, no devices. Yeah, I ain't got a plan for it, I'm the man for it. Silver Brody couldn't stand for it, it's very important. I've been off the edge, I've been feeling the wind blowing. I can lose my head and my heart, but they been gone. I just hit the edge of stairs when it's dead time. I just lost promises, I regret mine. I just gained a lot of love on the west side. I'm the go, but I will never be the best guy. You might take me out of business like I'm Best Buy. Talk about the go to maybe soon, I know that's right. Yeah. Talk about the go to maybe soon, I know that's right. Thinking about the future, looking good and it's the best side. I remember.
Yo. Welcome back to Ride the Tide Season 2, Episode 45. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another beautiful Saturday morning. Welcome to Ride the Tide Podcast, Season 2, Episode 45.
Ride the Tide Sports Podcast. Dylan never says it right.
Did I not say Ride the Tide Sports?
No, you never say sports.
Did I just say Ride the Tide Podcast?
Yes.
Oh, well, Ride the Tide Sports Podcast, because we primarily talk about sports for the whole podcast, hence the sports. But we are back with...
Who the fuck is that guy?
I'm McDilly. That's who the fuck I am. All right? That's me.
The guy that's fucking everything up. Yeah,
and I'm bringing the energy, and I know you are too, because I'm McDilly. We got Tycho, we got Snoop Luke, and we got three men that are ready to talk about sports for the next however long it takes.
Yes, sir. Definitely ready to do that. Dylan, before we get into today's podcast, why don't you tell everybody why you weren't here last time? What was going on in your world?
Well, to sum it up, I had an opportunity to go to downtown Detroit and watch a bunch of people in tights beat the living shit out of each other in two rings with a giant cage above it. I went. I had the time of my life with Big Mike and Lezu. And let's just say that it was worth missing the podcast because somebody got chucked off of a cage through a table, and it was completely worth it. So I was watching a bunch of people beat the shit out of each other at Little Caesars Arena while you guys were over here covering all the news. I had the time of my life, and it was a great time.
All right, fantastic. Well, we're happy to have you back. Jesse is on his way back as well, so he will be back for the next podcast. He was on a little cruise, but we're gonna have everyone back after the next podcast. So, yeah, he was on a cruise.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah. So he'll be back as well. But today you got us three. So here we go. First things first. Pavel Datsyuk is retiring after 26 years of professional hockey. I haven't heard of him, anything about him in a couple of years, so I didn't know if he was still playing or not. But it is official now that he is retired after 26 years of professional hockey. He was a big part of my childhood, and I'm sure Luke and Dylan's as well, growing up in Michigan and as a Detroit Red Wings fan. he was one of, my favorite players. Definitely probably for you guys as well. So it's really, really cool to see. 26 years, good career. Good for you, Pavel.
Towards the end of the wing stretch where they're getting shitty and just on the down slopes, the only reasons you'd be going to the games. Oh, let's go watch Datsyuk do something beautiful on the ice with the puck.
Facts. I agree. Datsyuk is a legend in Detroit hockey, in my opinion. I mean, anytime you have 2 Stanley Cups and you've made as many defenders and skaters fall down as Datsyuk did, which is a crazy stat to say, but
and goalies, bro, put goalies flat.
Yeah,
on their back.
And goalies. He took so many ankles, but I think that Datsyuk's one of those players where we're probably not going to have another Datsyuk for a long time. If we do again, I'm going to be honest. He's a really rare player.
One of my favorite moments of Datsyuk, he's had a lot of moments where he's split the D, broken some ankles, did all this other shit. But my favorite moment is when he was going up against Shea Weber and couldn't get past him because Shea Weber kept bodying him off the puck. And then Datsyuk's like, fuck this, I've had enough. Goes back into the same spot, baits Shea Weber in, pulls him close, and gives him the coldest shoulder you could think of and puts Weber on his ass. And it was amazing to watch.
I think Datsyuk has a lot of great moments. I think he'll be known for his hands. I think he'll be known for definitely anytime he had a fucking breakaway or was in a shootout. I mean, there's a lot of things that he's going to go down for. And in my opinion, he's a future Hall of Famer. 100%.
And he could steal that puck. One of the best to do that.
Facts, bro. He was an all-around playmaker.
How many times you just see him pickpocket somebody, turn it around immediately, and go and just tuck it?
I don't know. Times. Was it a lot?
Yeah. It was always him and Hank. That was the go-to.
They're a dynamic duo. It was insane.
Right, so Luke, I'm watching right now the Datsyuk clip that you're talking about against Shea Weber. I'm trying to find it. They're showing right now he just got bodied off the puck. And then he just got bodied off the puck again.
And then he's going to come back for a third time.
Shea Weber is creaming him right now. And then he just bodied the fuck out of Shea Weber.
He baits him in. He's like, come on, come back again. Bah! Shea Weber's like, oh, a third time. Let's go.
Fuck. I need to adjust here for a sec. Let me adjust. Adjustment made.
Alrighty.
All right, here we go. Bodied.
Comes back again. Boom!
Yeah.
Who do you think you're
God damn it. Now? You're not doing that a second time. Come on now.
Literally bait him in with the same fucking move. Had no intentions of getting past him, except just
none at all. But shout out to Pavel Datsyuk, one of the best Detroit Red Wings. Definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Retires after 26 years. In other news, we have USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten in 2024. Now, they are not the first college football teams as of late to switch up conferences, but they are the newest, and this will be probably bigger than the other switch up. USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten adds an LA market now to the Big Ten network, which honestly, this is all just for TV deals at the end of the day, but will make everybody so much freaking money that it is absurd. But how do you guys feel about USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten and shaking up the matchups? I mean, you're going to see USC and UCLA in Michigan, possibly in the middle of winter. I don't think the USC is fit to win any of those games.
Luke, you're muted.
Luke, you're muted. We're going to go to Dylan.
I don't understand how Lincoln Riley can say that he doesn't want to go to the SEC because he doesn't like the big game environment, but yet he's going to go over to the Big Ten with Michigan and State and Ohio State and those atmospheres.
Penn State.
Yeah, exactly, and so on. But so I don't understand that. Just want to throw that out there right away. So USC, have fun with that. It looks confusing as fuck to me. So there must be a lot of, like Tyler saying, money and TV deals involved that I don't understand.
There's so much money, Dylan.
Because just for me,
see if I can pull the numbers up.
See, because just for me and my perspective, when I look at it, it's confusing as hell. Because especially when you look at the map, right, of the United States, and you look at all the teams in the Big Ten, and then you look at the 2 teams that are being added. It's like all these teams are together. They're in one section. It's like their big division because they're all around each other. And then you have 2 teams that are across the fucking state, all the way down there. It just, I don't understand it. It's very confusing to me. I will say that. But Luke, what do you have to say before you muted?
I'll just the real question is just which northern team is going to give up the first winter game to a California team.
Yeah, those Cali teams are going to have to go play in some conditions they've never played in before. Just want to throw that out there, too.
All right, Dylan. I mean, I got some numbers I can throw at you to kind of give you a range here. The news that UCLA and USC will join the Big Ten came as the conference was in the middle of negotiations for a new TV deal for some of its games. Fox and ESPN currently hold the national rights to broadcast Big Ten games, paying $430 million a year combined under a contract that ends next year, which will then increase. So for Big Ten games alone, Fox and ESPN currently hold the rights to broadcast those games and pay $430 million a year, and that's without USC and UCLA in the LA market. Okay. So now it's going to be way higher than $430 million. It'll probably be north of $700 million.
That makes sense. But
that's a lot of money.
Do you understand?
That goes to the schools.
You understand what I'm saying, though, Ty? Like, just in the perspective of looking at the map, how it's just confusing how there's 2 teams.
It is confusing. But I feel like if they're going to do this, I said it last podcast, or I said it somewhere before, very recently. I told someone, I think it was Bookie last night when we hammered like 7 beers each, and we were just talking about everything that existed. But I told him if they're going to do it, they just got to do it. Make like 2 or 3 giant divisions, and then the smaller schools get their own division. Like, if you're going to start messing everything up, mess it all up. Don't just mess little parts of it up slowly over time. Just fucking do it. If you're going to change everything, just change it. That was what I was saying.
Yeah, I think that's one way that they could definitely go about it. But at the same time, they're doing a lot of baby steps. I think they're going to keep doing that. But at the same time, someone's going to rip off this Band-Aid. Someone's going to make a jump. And I think that USC and UCLA were kind of the first people to just do it. Just say, you know what, no, we're not making this a thing that in 5 to 10 years it will happen. In 2 years, we're going to be in the Big Ten. So, I mean, I think now that they've done this, things are going to start happening and dominoes are going to start falling. I think this was the first domino that got pushed over. So I think a lot of things are going to start happening now.
All right, for sure. Let's get on with it. Next up, we got some NBA news. That will be starting off with the Celtics.
A whole lot of it, too.
We have a lot. Yeah, there's a lot here. So starting off with the Celtics acquiring Brogdon.
Yes. Okay.
This is just the first of many, many big contracts and deals that we have to talk about. So, Dylan, the floor is majority yours, but I will be here to assist.
I appreciate that. So we have a lot of contracts to get into, and we have a couple trades to get into. And starting off with the best trade that has happened so far, that is the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics, being that the Indiana Pacers are trading over Malcolm Brogdon, and then they are getting in return Daniel Theis, Aaron Nesmith, and a 2023 first-round pick.
Daniel Theis, you're welcome.
Is that how you say it? It's not
yes.
Theis?
No.
All right. Well, that's stupid how it's tough and not the. But anyways, that's not what matters. What matters is that Boston has been trying to get Malcolm Brogdon for years. They have been eyeing him for years as a shooter, as a wing player. And I think now is actually probably one of the best times to pull the trigger. Now, I understand Malcolm Brogdon has had some indecisive play as of lately, but I think he's fine. I think that he's going to be straight. I think that he's still a great player. I think that he has had to be the one right now on the Pacers ever since Sabonis left, so not too worried about that. The biggest thing I will say is that you guys in the Pacers are 100% now rebuilding. You don't have anybody over there that's going to do anything. But this is good for the Celtics. This is a good move for them. They have a good shooter, and I like the move. Tyler, I just want you to know that I'm going in order of what you have on the screen. Perfect. Next up. Some people might say that this is the biggest trade that's happened so far. And you can make that argument, but I'm going to be honest, it's not. Because Rudy Gobert doesn't have the value that he once had. Yes, he's won DP. I mean, let's just say it. Yeah, he won DPOY 2 years in a row. But at the same time, at where he's at in his career right now, bro, I don't think Rudy Gobert going to Minnesota is going to make the biggest difference when they're already paying $200 million for a center that they already have, whose name is Karl Anthony Towns. So now there's 3 centers in the league getting paid $200 million. Jokic is deservedly one of them. But now Rudy Gobert and Cat are the other two, and they're both on the same floor with Minnesota. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to see that, and they're going to immediately get excited because they're going to be like, well, if they still have Anthony Edwards and D. Russ stays there, that's a 4 next year. And it's really still a 3 with rim protection. That's what you got. You got a defensive player who can give you good rim protection, but that 3 is primarily going to stay the same. I think he got overpaid like a motherfucker, but at the same time, I haven't liked Rudy Gobert ever since he gave the league COVID. And I think that's a very valid reason to hate him. So, Rudy Gobert off to Minnesota. A lot of people can say what they want about this deal, but I'm going to be honest. I think that Utah won this deal. You want to know why? Because the Jazz got 3 unprotected first-round picks for this man. 3. Along with Malik Beasley and Patrick Beverley, who I think are good team players to have because Patrick Beverley, wherever he goes, he's going to make that team think that they can win the fucking title this year. So, 3 unprotected first-round picks and some good energy over for the Jazz. Say what you want. I'm giving them the W in this fucking trade.
Yeah, no, I'm giving the Jazz the W in this trade as well. I think the Jazz kind of fleeced them. And I think that obviously they're going for the tall ball style over there in Minnesota. And I think Patrick Beverley, like you said, will light that fire under the boys in Utah. And, Mitchell definitely is probably very happy with those 3 unprotected first-round picks because he wants to build a team around himself there. And he doesn't want to leave now that Gobert's out. One of them had to go, and one went.
That was the right one to go, too.
Exactly.
They made the right move on who should have left. So that was a good play by them. Speaking of Minnesota, just staying on them, that center that we just talked about, who is making $200 million, there's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, right in front of me. Karl Anthony Towns, 4 years, $224 million deal. I'm not really going to jump into this because I basically just did it. He's a great center. He's a great player. Do I think he should be making $200 million? I would say just under, but I'm not going to complain at the deal. The fact that he now has this deal with a very similar deal to Rudy on the same court, I'm going to look at that front office and I'm going to still ask the questions of why. But you know what? Like Tyler said, they're building that tall ball, and fucking we'll see how it works out for them. But on to another big extension. And in my opinion, the most important extension. There's 2 of them, but this is one of the 2. And that is starting off with Nikola Jokic agreeing to a 5-year, $264 million extension with Denver. Yes, he got the max. I think we all assumed he was going to get the max, but he's a player that needed the max. And he's getting paid for it. He deserves the contract. He deserves the length. I think Jokic, when this deal is up in 5 years, he'll still be a high free agent, and he'll still be somebody that's talked about in this league. I think that Jokic has star value for a while, in my opinion. But at the same time, let's just hope an injury bug doesn't flake him. But for right now, where the Nuggets are, good move. Glad that they could lock him up. You definitely didn't want to lose Jokic. He's back-to-back MVP. So, good for Denver. Moving on to the next one. It is Zach LaVine. Now, Zach LaVine is one of the people that I'm going to be honest with you. I originally had him not signing a deal. I thought he was going to hit free agency, and it was going to be a see where he ended up type situation. But he was able to work out a deal with the Bulls, 5-year, $215 million deal. And what this essentially means is, Bulls fans, you're probably not doing shit. When I saw this deal, it essentially told me you're going to have DeRozan. You're going to have the people that were injured last year, because a lot of people forget Lonzo, Caruso, these people got injured halfway through the year. Those people coming back and healthy in the beginning of the year is essentially going to be how you started the year last year. So I think that, in their opinion, they'll have a healthy team and they won't need to do anything else. So they spent their money on Lavine. Lavine's a good player to spend your money on, but at the same time, this also means that they're probably done shopping for the offseason. Next up, I told you there was two. There was two very important ones. One was Jokic. This is the second one. Because you want to talk about someone that deserved the max. Ja Morant got the rookie max 5-year, $193 million deal to stay a Memphis Grizzly. And I think this is exactly what you want if you're a Memphis fan and if you're a part of Memphis's organization. I mean, you have one of the best stars in the league right now, Ja Morant. Wherever he goes, he's got to make a lot of money. I'm going to be honest with you. And he's got to ball out. But he's also in that stage right now where what he's building with Memphis, they've gone to the playoffs. They tasted it in the bubble 2 years ago. I wouldn't even really count that. But last year, they got a good taste of it. And I think that Ja has an attitude going into this season where he wants to win these next couple of years, and he's going to have that attitude where he wants a ship. He wants a title. And I think if you can keep him in Memphis for these next 5 years, there's a good chance you're going to see a ring, or you're at least going to see Ja Morant in a championship game. Next up, we're going over to Washington. And at this point, I don't know whether to be happy for the man or to be like, you know what? We saw it coming, and it sucks to be
like maybe he might be delusional at this point.
You know what I mean? But I guess, yeah, no, that's it. That's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that they didn't do anything in the offseason. So he's delusional. Bradley Beal signs a $251 million deal. So maybe he just likes money. All right, maybe
that too. Yeah, the money is huge.
Maybe that's a big part. And a 5-year deal for $251 million deals essentially tells me one thing. It tells me for the next 2 years, Thanks, Nick. I
don't know why Dylan flaked out here, but
it sounded like he said thanks, Nick, like he just got a fucking call in the middle of the podcast and it just sent him out.
Nick fucked me. There's a FaceTime call. It said Nick Ferrante, and then I went black, and no one could hear me. What the hell? Anyways, thanks, Nick. I'm glad that he knows when we're doing the podcast. Fucking hell. But anyways, Bradley Beal staying with the Wizards. What I was going to say was that it's going to be a situation for the next 2 years. You're probably not going to hear anything from the Wizards, and then they're going to acquire somebody that's going to make you go, ooh, oh, I forgot Beal's still on the Wizards. I think that's a situation that you're going to see. I don't think that anything's really going to be happening with them next year. But Bradley Beal's still a good player. He deserves to make good money, and he's going to make it for a team that's probably not going to do a whole lot. Going over next, we have probably one of the most sorry, I just remembered something when I saw Devin Booker. Can't talk about it. Anyways, Devin Booker signs a 4-year, $214 million deal for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, if you're a Suns fan, if you're Luke, I mean, you can't really be upset with this. I know you love your D-Book, and at the same time,
D-Book!
I know you love your D-Book, and you got it for 4 more years. So, are you happy about this?
I'm happy, you know, as long as the Suns can keep keeping me happy, I'm gonna be fucking happy, okay?
I mean, you're gonna need to keep D-Book because there's a good chance you're losing Ayton. So
yeah, there probably is a good chance for losing Ayton, because by the sounds of it, from what I hear, the Suns don't even want Ayton.
No, they don't, because the head coach of the Suns, who is one of the best coaches in the league, went on to say that DeAndre Ayton is not a good coachable player. So,
which that sucks because I liked him.
Right, but if you're not coachable, and he was getting benched in the playoffs, and he was told that he wasn't trying in the playoffs, those are factors here.
Those are.
So, I mean, you gotta.
I mean, when the coach says go in the game and you say no.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
That's all you really need to know. But
Yeah,
Devin Booker is staying in Phoenix for 4 more years, and that's good for the Suns, who are going to continue to try to be a top-tier team. Now, one of the most underrated signings, in my opinion, is Lu Dort, as he also got the rookie max 5-year deal. They get the rookie max for money, though, $87 million. But at the same time, I think Lu Dort was one of the most underrated players in the league a couple of years ago. Not a lot of people talk about him, especially when you look at OKC, the main guy you're going to go to is Shy Guy. I understand 100% why. But I think Dort was a clutch shooter. I think that he was a good outside perimeter shooter. And I think that him and OKC for the next 5 years, we know all the draft picks, we know all the young talent they're going to get. I think he's going to be somebody that's going to help them out a lot for the next couple of years to come. So that's a good signing there for OKC, in my opinion. Is that all we got, or we got one more? Well, boom, here we go. So this deal was almost finalized the second that the Mavericks got Christian Wood. The second the Mavericks got Christian Wood, sadly, in the back of my head, it was very clear that Jalen Brunson was not going to be a Maverick. He's been talking to the Knicks for a fucking year now, so it's about time that they finally got a deal made out. Jalen Brunson is going to New York on a 4-year, $110 million deal. I think that this is good for the Knicks, who decided to trade away their entire draft, so they finally get somebody back. And now they're going to have Jalen Brunson be that number 2 to Doncic, only it's going to be to Julius Randle. So I don't want to be that guy to say it now, but the Knicks still aren't going to be shit next season. I mean, this really doesn't do a whole lot, because I think the Knicks aren't going to make the playoffs next year if your lineup stays how it is right now. I think that you're in a situation where any young depth off the bench you have traded to Detroit for some reason. Oh, no, I know why. It was to clear money so you could get Jalen Brunson. So now, hopefully that works out for you, and Brunson and Randle can be the next, in my opinion, Bradley Beal and fucking Russell Westbrook that go out there and ball, but you're not going to make playoffs. Now, is that it?
Hey everybody, what's going on? Taking a quick break in the action here to tell you about sixpackcoverage.com. Make sure you guys check out sixpackcoverage.com because, hey, that's where you find our podcast as well as other sports, finance, food, travel, fitness, and entertainment podcasts for your own personal needs. You know, whatever you're into, hop on there, check it out. Sixpackcoverage.com also has a shop where you can shop for all your favorite six-pack coverage wants and needs like flags and t-shirts, including the Ride the Tide t-shirt, which is out now. Be sure to check out sixpackcoverage.com today.
MLB update.
All right, boys, let's talk some MLB now. Let's get into it. The MLB update, starting with the Padres City Connect jerseys. They've been released. Dylan says they are by far his favorite. If you haven't seen those, make sure you head up to the Padres Twitter and check it out, or on their Instagram, and see the Padres City Connect release jerseys. They're probably sold out already, but with that being said, they're Dylan's favorite so far, so you might see Dylan wearing one because
I'm
Dylan
just
likes
saying,
those jerseys.
bro, they're so sick. Did you see them?
I did see them.
They're hard.
They're not
bro.
my favorite. Miami was still my favorite.
I understand.
Those red ones.
Are great.
The red and the light blue. I mean, I'm wearing it this weekend, bro, for the 4th. It's red, white, and blue.
I understand. It's actually.
You already know my favorite.
Yeah, we know. The fucking Diamondbacks.
We love it.
Give me the Snakes.
And it will never change for him. But we do have some MLB news.
Not a lot.
First off, I want to say happy belated Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody. It was yesterday. Bobby Bonilla Day, for those of you that don't know, is the day where every year the New York Mets from 2011 to 2035 have to cut a check to Bobby Bonilla for $1.2 million because they bought out his contract for a shit ton of time. Very lengthy, but happy belated Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody.
Every year, I forget that's a thing, and then every year it happens.
SportsCenter posts it every year, and I'm like,
and I
yep. There it is.
Yep. So you don't sign, no matter who it is, people to big ass contracts.
Exactly. But happy belated Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody. Let's get into the actual news. Dylan, Arenado hits for the cycle in a game where the team still loses. What's up with these performances by players where they're so good and their teams are still losing?
Well, I can't really be sorry against this yellow.
Like Otani's guys and they still lose. Like what?
Well, I mean, at the same time,
why does this keep happening?
Baseball's a crazy fucking game sometimes, Ty. And as much as you do something good, the problem is the other team still has a chance to bat. So that's what sucks sometimes. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is Arenado right now, National League MVP. And it ain't close. I don't give a fuck. Because Nolan Arenado is on a tear where he is batting over 340. He has more RBIs than anyone else. He's like fourth in homers. And you just said for the cycle? Nolan Arenado is playing like prime D-back. Nolan Arenado, Jesus, I said that wrong. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt are playing like prime D-back and prime Colorado Rocky players. And that's what you want to have if you're on a St. Louis Cardinals team who's probably going to be battling with the New York Mets for the division the entire way to the end of the year. So I think that Arenado hitting for the cycle, even though they lost, is still a big dub because it just shows the momentum that they have. And we already know how good their defense is. So if their offense can start going crazy, St. Louis is going to be a problem. And I think that that's something that the Mets know. And that's what's going to create a good battle between that division, in my opinion. But also,
all right, one more piece of baseball news here.
It's a pretty good one here.
This one is very good. I'm actually very excited about this. I think Luke will be as well.
Yes.
The MLB is going to introduce robot umpires in 2024. Now, I'm pretty sure that this means they're going to basically use the box that they use now.
They're just going to
and they're going to have like a comm that would tell the umpire whether or not it was a ball or a strike after it crosses the plate. And I love it.
Yep, it's what we've been begging for.
It's exactly what it's. Look, if you're going to put the box on the screen to where we can tell if it's a ball or a strike, it should be right. Or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It should be accurate. You can literally track the ball.
The players
You've built the strike zone.
Yeah,
use it.
I keep hearing people argue, it's like, oh, the bad umpires are a part of the game. Oh, the missed calls, all that's part of the game. It's like, dude, no one wants to be a part of that shit. When it fucks you, it's the most irritating shit in the world, and you want it changed immediately. And then when it happens for you, say against the other team, you're like, oh, yeah, it's just part of the game. You got to live with it. No. Everyone finds it annoying when it fucking happens to them. No one wants to get put through it anymore. It's bullshit, especially at the highest professional league level. It's about time they're starting to do something to actually get a lot more accurate calls.
I mean, I agree. The only people who are going to be butthurt are the old school fans who don't change the game. Those are the only people who are going to be upset about this. But those are the same people that were upset about the extra innings rule. Bro, those are the same people that were upset when we gave the pitchers 2 minutes on the mound. Does that mean anything? No, it's to speed up the game. But they were still irritated because they felt like, if the game's a traditional game, just don't touch it. Don't mess with it.
Who cares if it goes for 6 hours?
Some things need to be fucking tweaked, all right? And I think this is a great tweak. So props to the MLB and Rob Manfred for actually listening to one of the million things that the fans have said and maybe actually doing something about it. Big props to him. I also wanted to throw out that I didn't send Tyler this, but player of the week is Paul Goldschmidt because I meant to say that when I was on the Cardinals, but player of the week is Paul Goldschmidt. Shout out the Cardinals. Shout out him. He's about to win NL MVP. That's what I meant to say before when I was talking about Nolan Arenado. And yeah, that's all the MLB update I have for you today. I don't see Tyler anymore, which means the only thing left I can possibly think of to get into is some UFC with Snip Blue.
UFC.
I'm talking in guap, now I'm speaking it fluent. When I hit the road, I won't leave till I do it. Acting out of hand, I'm like, be what you doing. We started off good, can't believe that we ruined it, yeah. I tried to fix with a sewing kid, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah.
Well, all right.
Wait. We got a text from Fuller. I'm waiting for the robot umps to short circuit from the heat. Some of these pitchers. Somebody goes out, throws 101, and you just see smoke coming up. Like the fuck?
Well,
a ball or a strike? I don't know, but it was fast. That's what we know.
Welcome to some UFC news now, and I wasn't gonna start. You know what? Let's just start it off.
It's because I'm here. That's the only reason, and I wanted to go through the card with Luke.
No, we're going through the card, but we're not starting with the card because we're starting with this. Oliveira calls out McGregor, and I quote, "He always cuts the line," and everyone knows that it happens. When Conor is on, he cuts the line. I think I deserve to choose, and I'm choosing Conor.
That means more, motherfucker.
Oh, it's on.
That's essentially me saying I choose you, Luke.
Oh, it's on, Dylan. Come on. Make the fight. Come on. Oh,
they're gonna make that. There's no more I can say other than Dana White. I've never needed you to make a fight more in the history of this company.
Oh, my God.
Make the fight. Please make the fight.
But anyways, there is a new...
You can't just tell me that.
I know. Oh, man. There is a new curse that is floating around the UFC, and it has to do with my boy Sean O'Malley.
Oh.
His opponents, after losing to him, are 4-13.
That's a good curse to have. Like,
yeah.
Sean.
Well, I mean,
So
that's
Sean,
the other fighter. Like, the other fighters in the next fight, and their next fight after Sean, after losing to him, are 4-13.
Right. I'm saying that's good for Sean because in Sean's head, that means he's breaking the fighters he's beating.
Yes.
He's making them worse.
Yes.
Which is what I feel like you would want to do. You know what I mean? I feel like as fucked up as it is to say, if you can walk out of that fight and you can be like, damn, ever since I fought them, they have not been the same. I feel like that's a good thing to say.
Yeah. And I have, before we get into the Hall of Fame, I did have another piece of news, but I think I want to save that for the Izzy fight when we talk about the actual event.
All right, bet.
Because now, let's just talk about the UFC Hall of Fame. Woo! Because we have 3 introductions.
Oh, shit.
Not 3 fighters. 2 fighters and a fight.
Okay.
We have Khabib Nurmagomedov. And Daniel Cormier getting entered into the Hall of Fame. I mean, everyone kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
It was kind of fucking obvious, but it finally happened. Next up, we have the fight between Swanson and Choi on December 10th, 2016 at UFC 206 for one of the best fights in UFC history.
Wow.
It was fucking wild.
Man. Because
huge shout out to them.
Well, because I feel like those are people that they don't. Yeah, they get the recognition, but I feel like, especially Choi, he does not get as much recognition as he should. So, I'm really
I agree with that. But now, I think
we get into the biggest card of the year. I don't give a fuck.
We might go through a little bit. All right. Well, fight number 1. We got Sean O'Malley going against Pedro Munhoz.
Are we not doing prelims? I only ask because the prelims are good this time. That's the only reason.
Prelims are good, but unless we want the UFC segment to be an hour long,
that's true.
we're not doing the prelims.
That's true. It'd be way too long. All right, bet.
But fight number 1, we have O'Malley and Munhoz going up against each other. 15-1 O'Malley, 17-9 Munhoz. I think this is going to just be a win for O'Malley. It's going to be a little bit tougher. Pedro is hard to put away, but at the end of the day, O'Malley will get the job done, even though he will be a nuisance to him.
100%. The storyline's going to be that O'Malley finally has a tougher fight, but I don't think the outcome's going to be any different.
Going on to fight number 2, we have Robbie Lawler making the main card.
Yeah, I'm ready for this one.
That was huge. I was so pissed you weren't here for the last one because I wanted this where I brought the news for it. but Brian Barberena going up against him. And I'm
I
sorry.
have one question, Luke. Who's
What?
the favorite? Do you know?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I want to know if I'm taking a favorite or an upset here.
Robbie is the favorite, minus 125, and Brian is plus 105 under.
Thank you. All right.
And I'm taking Robbie fucking Lawler because he's Robbie fucking Lawler. And he finally got back onto the main card from the prelims, and now he's surging with energy to keep the streak alive since 02.
I agree 100%. That's why I asked, because I thought they were going to make Robbie the underdog, but yeah, I'm taking Robbie Lawler.
For fight number 3, we have Sean Strickland, who's 25-3, going up against Alex Pereira, who is 5-1, who is also 2-0 against Isreal Adesanya in kickboxing back in the day.
Yeah, Sean had to let everybody fucking know that.
Sean had to let everyone know because
He had
he was
to let
going
everybody
after.
know that he fucking... Bro, I'm not going to lie, the one thing that I love is that he was like, Izzy jerks off to fucking cartoons and anime, and Izzy's like,
No
yeah, I
man,
fucking do.
quote unquote, no man who jerks off to cartoons is gonna beat me.
And Izzy goes, I fucking do. Yeah. Izzy had no shame.
He had no shame, bro. He's like, that's right, I do.
He's like, bro, what's wrong?
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's the champ. That's the fucking champ.
That's who he is, but I do think that as much as Sean Strickland was beefing with Izzy and as much as he was making noise, you got to remember, this is his first UFC press conference. So we knew he was going to say some shit out of line.
And
He's
honestly,
been waiting.
This is his first one, and this is the best UFC press conference we've had since before COVID.
Yeah, I think that the last time there was even a press conference that had beef was Vittori and fucking Izzy. So it's glad that Izzy fucking brings out the best in the fights. Oh no, the press conference between, what do you call it? Mazzy and Colby, that was good. But
yeah,
anyway.
oh yeah, that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that bitch because that was good. But I will say, you probably already said this on the last podcast. Sean Strickland, I mean, there's no way he's the baddest motherfucker in the octagon. I can't not take him, and I'm probably gonna take him by knockout, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm on Strickland too. Yep, yeah, I love this guy. All he does is fucking scream and shout, want to get punched in the face, and punches other people in the face. There's no man I have seen in this fight game that loves violence like Sean Strickland. And
100%.
it gets me going before the fight. That's how he gets me hype.
All right, Luke, this is when me and you are going to fucking argue because I saw the clip from last podcast and you made some ignorant statements that I do not agree with at all.
Absolute
You said
banger of a co-main. Like, it is actually crazy to think this is not
I
a main
actually know
event.
this fight, so yes. Bang it.
Oh my God. Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway.
I'm taking Volkanovski.
You're taking Volkanovski.
Yeah.
I am riding with Max Holloway. This man is the best boxer in the UFC. No one can keep up with him in his division. No one can. He will piece up Volkanovski. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is going to be an absolute fucking war, in my opinion. Like, this is probably going to go to decision.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Now, you say that there is nobody in the division that can stand with him. And I understand that where you're coming from. You're saying when it comes to swinging, standing up, there is nobody in the division that can stand with him.
He will piece you the fuck up.
I disagree because I think that somebody who has been able to stand with him on 2 different occasions and has 2 victories over him is Volkanovski. And I think that Volkanovski is the man that not only has ran the division, but after he beats Holloway is probably going to jump to 150 and collect another title. So
yeah, well, when Holloway starts piecing up Volkanovski and takes that division win. Ugh.
I think Holloway has the momentum. Yes, I understand. The land of the volcanoes, all that noise. I'm hip, okay? I get what it means where Holloway's fighting, okay? But I have to look at the run Volkanovski's been on. I have to look at the last times he fought Holloway. Do I think that is going to be similar to this fight? Yes and no. I think it's going to be similar in terms of I think these two are going to swing, but I do not think that this is going to be a decision fight. I think that this is going to be a fight that gets finished second round, third round. I think someone's going to go for something big early, and they're going to get caught. I couldn't tell you who, but I will
tell you that there's.
more of a
I don't I don't know if I agree with that. This is
the last 2 fights have been more.
This is a third fight between them. You got to realize that. So that means they're going to come in a
You wanna
lot
know why?
slower.
You wanna know why?
How do you ever? We've
Listen.
seen this in a lot of fights that are like rematches and all that. What happens in the first round? It's a very boring first round because they're feeling each other out. They're seeing what they're going to do, if they're doing anything different from last time, if they're going to try anything new, if they're going to keep it the same. And it's a big feeling out process to later in. So I think this is going to be a deeper fight than that, specifically for being its third fight against each other.
I primarily say this because the last rematch fight that I saw, it was boom, boom, boom. But at the same time, that was Wei Li and Jonet, and that's also a different situation. But that's just the biggest factor in my head is the last rematch fight, it was boom, boom, boom. But also, now the second you said that, I immediately just started thinking of, like, all the other fights that have been, no, but, like, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. And I understand that it could be more of a...
and yes, the Wei Li fight did get there, but...
Who are the flyweights? It could be more of a Brendan Moreno and, like, that type of fight, where they just slug it out and it goes, like, the distance. Do you have this going decision?
Yeah, well, those smaller people can slug it out like that with less damage being taken.
We know Holloway's going to take damage. He has the most strikes taken in the UFC history.
But the flyweights can throw more and take more because it's not as much power. But
do you have this going decision?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you said that. You have them beating the hell out of each other, Holloway by decision.
This is going to be
I'm going to take Volk by submission.
It's going to be a close fight, like to the point where I'm probably going to be worried when it comes to a decision.
Yeah, and if it does a decision, I don't think it will be decided. I really agree with that. But I know we'll be back on the same page by the main event.
You know, I was thinking that, but then I just caught some fucking wind of some news, and I'm on a teeter-totter right now. I'm telling you that. Oh man.
I don't want to watch the event with you if you don't ride
because Isreal Adesanya is going up against Jarrod Cannonier, and we got some updated news on this fight because Drake has
whoever he threw his money on picked the opposite.
Yeah, you want to know who he threw his money on?
No,
Isreal Adesanya. Bro, I already know what time it is. You know, I put a light million up. I had to put a light million up on my brother. Return on investment is a lock.
He sucks at gambling.
Give me Jarrod Cannonier by KO. He is taking the fucking belt.
Fucking, this is all
the Drake curse is fucking activated.
The Drake curse is a real thing, bro. Every time he throws money, the fucking other person wins. God damn it. Fuck you, Drake. This is all your fault. But at the same time, it's Izzy, bro. I mean, Izzy's one of the best strikers in the game.
That's why I'm on such a teeter-totter, bro.
Oh, my God. If Drake didn't do anything, honestly, this shit would be so easy. But now he had to make things difficult.
I can't do it. I'm with Jarrod.
I'm with Izzy because this curse has to be broken. And Izzy's got to be the one to fucking do it. Because, one, Drake, stop gambling, bro. All right? Because we wouldn't even be in positions like this if you were fucking gambling. Two, nobody uses stake. Okay? Just want to point that out there. I know you're gambling on the stake app. Nobody fucking uses that shit, bro. All right. And three, I have Isreal Adesanya winning. Primarily because of the fact that I like Cannonier, all right? I like he has the one-punch knockout power. I like that Cannonier is the sleeper, and like Isreal said, he's the dark horse of the division. That's the main reason why Isreal picked him to get this fight. But I think this is going to be a fight that's going to go to a decision. I think it's going to be a situation where Isreal's going to try for some highlights. I don't think he's going to get them. I think Cannonier's going to piece him up more than expected. And I think this is going to be one of those fights very similar to the co-main, where if it does go to decision, it's not going to be decided clear cut.
Listen, Dylan, I want Izzy because
take Drake out of him for a minute.
I want him to fight Sean Strickland after Strickland beats Alex Pereira.
That is the fight that needs to be made.
That's the fight I want. But
bro said you're
oh my God, I can't. I have to. I'm taking Jarrod. Jarrod for the upset.
It's I hate that I can't be mad because I understand it.
Problem is, I've been kind of feeling it a little bit, but then I was like, Adesanya, but then with Drake coming in,
Bro said, give me a sign from the universe, and saw that Drake threw on Izzy and said,
that was the straw that broke the camel's back right there.
He said, all right, bet. Yeah, I'm throwing Cannonier, and I can't disagree. I mean, it's a good pick. But this should be a hell of a card. Top to bottom, prelims that started at 6 o'clock, bro. I'm going to be on that bitch. From the Bobby Green fight to the way down. It's going to be a great card.
So, guys, did you guys bring up the Michael Chandler comment?
No.
So, you guys talked about how Oliveira called out McGregor, and that would be probably January fight, right?
Yeah.
Michael Chandler tweets at Charles Oliveira, on Twitter, his Twitter. If I were you, I'd wait for Conor in January too. I'll keep the division warm while you're chasing him.
It's good that he still likes to hit up his father every once in a while.
So man, that happened.
Dude, I love Chandler's energy, dude.
Chandler's mad that his dad's about to take his fight.
He's always full tilt, full time. He doesn't give a fuck.
Chandler, you would be able to get your fight quicker maybe if you were the champion, but you lost to Oliveira. So, sucks to be you.
And then, Dylan, I did want to mention 2 other NBA deals real quick to wrap up today's podcast.
Ooh.
But I found a little thing on Woj's Twitter real quick, and free agent guard Damian Lee has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns.
Okay, so, I mean, that's a role player that Golden State didn't need. So, works.
And free agent Dante DiVincenzo agrees to a 2-year, $9.3 million deal with the Golden State Warriors.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why did you go Golden State? I like Dante.
Golden State got rid of Damian Lee. Here comes DiVincenzo.
Hey, let's take out a role player who didn't really do shit. We got him a ring, and now we can get someone else that already has a ring and knows how to shoot and bring him in. I mean,
shooter's going to shoot. But that's all we got for today on Ride the Tide Sports Podcast. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great weekend. Make sure you guys check out UFC 276 tonight. It's going to be a great pay-per-view. Got to pay to view it, though, so pay-per-view. UFC 276 tonight. Make sure you guys check out sixpackcoverage.com as well, where you can find our podcast as well as other great podcasts and six-pack merchandise, including cups, T-shirts, Ride the Tide shirts. Honestly, it's all there for you on sixpackcoverage.com. Make sure you check it out today. We'll see you guys next week on Wednesday. Till then, peace out. See you later.
Peace.